Hey, it's Nick. If it's your first time watching the podcast, watch the latest ones first. There's some audio sync issues in this one that'll be fixed by the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Without further ado. Hello, and welcome to the I Make Art, Hire Me podcast. Trying this for the fourth time now. The third time just happened, and apparently I was on a trial version of recording software. Anyway, I am Nick Mabry, your host, 3D animator. Just landed my first job in the industry, so hoping to make this podcast not just about animation, but art in general, creative industries in general. Hopefully we can help out some students and people who want to get into this stuff. Expand some minds. Who are you guys?
I'm Lloyd Duchek. I'm a frequent guest so far. You'll probably never see any of my appearances.
No one.
No one will. I'm let's say homeless. I made this joke earlier and I really liked it. I'm homeless.
It was a good joke. We talked about how he broke into an alley and put up curtains because his video is curtains.
I built a set in the alley that I live in, and just off camera there's like 6 people I stabbed to death so they'd stop trying to steal my curtains.
Cheery. Nate?
My name is Nathaniel. I am currently at Seneca College in my 3rd year studying software development.
Please send help. No one's come yet. I have no signal.
It's been fine up until now, but we'll see how things go.
How's that computer algorithm class going?
I want to kill myself.
Computer algorithm sounds like the course that I would look at in the brochure and then put down the brochure for Seneca and look at another school.
I honestly didn't even know that we had a data structures and algorithms class. The moment I hear algorithms, I'm like, oh.
Emma,
I'm sad now.
Okay, well, I guess my girlfriend had the same thing, Emma. She didn't know that she had like a math class, and she's taking like fundraising, and she just walks in one day and it's like, we're doing math now. And it's like, yeah? Are we doing that? I don't think anybody wants to do that.
So right now, as it stands, all my friends are freaking out. The majority of people in our class that we've been talking to are already certain that they're going to end up failing the program. It's been a mess.
But are you in 2nd or 3rd year?
3rd year.
And people, oh jeez. I think if you make it to 3rd year, you're going to be like,
okay,
I don't care what happens, I'm getting through this.
Paid.
You would think, but apparently that's not the case.
What's like the fail out rate? Has your class been halved or anything yet?
Our program has a 75% fail rate.
Jesus.
At the end of 1st year, we started with probably 80 plus students, and now we're down to 30-ish.
So, okay, explain who would take this course. What is at the end of the course?
Love computers.
What outfit are you wearing when you go to work?
My birthday suit. I'm kidding.
Good.
What outfit am I wearing?
What's wrong with the birthday suit? Mine's very tasteful.
Yeah, anyways. Probably just like whatever you would wear in an
everything
office as a programmer. Whatever you'd wear in an office as a programmer is what kind of suit you'd be looking for.
What are you programming, though?
Anything at this point. Right now I'm taking an Android course, so hopefully I'll get a chance to program some Android apps this summer.
Really?
As part of the job.
So, is it... See, I always thought it was like system stuff and like IT stuff and not specifically like apps or games or whatever.
No, if you wanted to do like IT stuff, you'd have to take like an actual, like, because there are like IT courses like technology support or network support or network analyst. Those
Let's
would be
frame it this way.
IT stuff.
What do you want to do once you graduate from this program?
Not be homeless.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would just like to write. Like to write Android apps. I feel like writing Android apps would be something I'd like to do.
That'd be cool, actually. I feel like it's topical to say you don't want to be homeless as we slip into a technical recession once again.
Soon to be full recession.
Woo! Oh yeah, there's the economic debate tonight.
Man, I'm here instead of that.
I'm actually kind of sad that I can't. I'm sure I can catch it later on.
It'll be on YouTube.
But
I actually really want to know.
yeah. So I guess something more on topic is talking about classes being halved. Animation classes get halved so quick because in similar, maybe not the only, but the programming course at Humber that I'm most familiar with is game programming. And people roll into game programming like, I play video games all the time. I really like them. And they go in, and it's the same thing. They walk into a math class, and they're like, but this is video games. And the prof is like, physics.
Yeah.
And it's
you need physics. You need like the 3D spatial recognition. You need all that stuff just to program games.
Make a physics engine. Make a graphic engine. Make
even though
modulation system between the two of them. Yeah. Now make a way to render a character.
Like, thank God that Unity and Unreal Engine exists, because like I can't imagine the first ever like video game programming course, and you just walk in and it's like, okay, we're gonna spend the next 25 years learning how to make a game engine. Start now.
I don't know. I feel like that kind of thing would develop over time as numerous intelligent people did stuff, and then they're like, oh, we can combine it in this way, and that makes a set of predictable variables that we can utilize in interesting ways.
Well, I guess I don't know.
As with any discipline.
The strange thing about it is that they'll get like, so you have Unreal Engine and you have Unity, and then people are like, I make video games, and then somebody's like, oh, how do you do it? And they're like, oh, I start with Unreal Engine and da-da-da. And then somebody's like, no, stop. You're not making a game. You're just clicking buttons in Unreal. And it's like, nah. But then I don't make video games, so I wouldn't know.
Well, yeah, it's just like how people are just like, I write code. It's like, oh, really? Like, what language do you write it in? It's like, oh, I write code on MATLAB. It's like, okay, no, stop. What you do is you look for a manual to get the instructions that tell you how to do certain things, and then you just write them all one after the other, hit go, and the program does it for you. You don't actually write code. You don't have to worry about things like memory allocation or whether or not you're using the right data type for the variable you want. You're just like...
It's because I'm not a nerd. I'm a video game maker.
No, you're homeless.
Get out of my way while I call Ubisoft.
Unless you need to write annotation in your code, it's not real code.
Does anybody...
You're in poli-sci.
Well, you should, but...
I'm not in poli-sci.
Fuck are you in, then?
Lawyer
General
school.
Social Science.
Yeah, that one.
Science.
Which is the bachelor I'm going to get before I go to law school, unless I flunk my LSATs, which I'm supposed to be studying for right now.
Nice. Glad you could be here, Lloyd.
What? When am I taking my LSATs, or where am I taking my LSATs? December 6th.
Damn, son.
Is it inside of a building?
Yeah, it's at the university.
That'll be a nice change for you then.
I know. It'll be great.
All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. I was thinking, so since this is technically the fourth attempt, on our second attempt, we had a super great episode. I actually should have put it up for you guys. We had an episode on if you have a hobby, should you turn it into a career? Should you monetize it? Some pros, some cons, some arguments that we had about it. That was great. Let's do that again, because that was really good. And I don't
think we can recreate that chemistry.
I think we can do better.
See? That's optimism.
What are you talking about, Lloyd? We always have chemistry. We're bros, okay?
So we have Nate, who's optimistic, me, who's cynical, Nick, who's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, so it all works out. It is like
by our powers combined, we even out to a...
By our powers combined, we make a mildly entertaining hour.
Yeah, it's like when you combine all the colors together and you just get a disgusting muddy gray.
No, yes. You can't see what all the colors combined together look like. To everyone who doesn't know, he's slightly red-blue colorblind, so I love making fun of him, and now he has no idea if it actually makes gray.
I think it's actually a brown. It always makes like a crappy brown.
No, it makes this really amazing pinkish black color. I can't believe you can't see it.
So
I can't believe it either.
Grayish brown, or is it blackish pink? This is like that dress.
No, it's pinkish black.
Okay, have you guys seen all the videos of people putting on these like chroma lens glasses to cure their color blindness?
No.
I've seen the one where the guy like gets to see purple for the first time. That was
yeah.
I don't want to watch that.
It upsets me because I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the guy to have his color blindness cured first, and I wanted to record the reaction video of me being like, "Oh my god, purple," and it's really upsetting.
We could actually just record you being colorblind, which I think in many ways would be more entertaining for people.
So you just drop a colorblind guy. He's like blindfolded, but you drop him in a forest with a bunch of flowers, and you take off the blindfold, and then everybody around him acts like, "Wow, the flowers are so beautiful." But the camera just stays on the sad colorblind guy who's just standing in a field of gray, wondering why he was blindfolded in the first place.
Because like you don't just see everything in shades of gray. Like you can see blue, right? Well, sort of.
I can see.
You do have a range of colors, right?
Yeah, it's just
then
it's
really
hard to describe without comparison.
For me, are like when you're like peanut butter is green. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, it's greenish. And I'm like, grass green or like leaf green? Like, and then you explain, and I'm like, this is hilarious because peanut butter is brown.
Yeah, and then so like whenever I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I see. Okay, first of all, I need to tell the story of how I learned peanut butter was green, because I was on the internet.
No, peanut butter's brown.
Peanut butter's brown.
Yeah, sorry. Oh my god.
Idiot.
It's just a disability. So how I learned, I was online, and there was a picture of like today I learned, like what was that?
Sorry, I had to plug in my headphones.
It was like my friend is colorblind, and he said something about something about peanut butter being green, and I'm like, oh, no, it was the colorblind person, and they said that peanut butter was green, and somebody was like, nah, man, it's brown, and the colorblind person was like, it's brown, and like they didn't know for like, I don't know, like 20 years or whatever. That's the moment that I learned that peanut butter was brown.
So for the two people who are going to watch this podcast, this is going to be the most entertaining part. Like, just cut out right now.
We talk about colors.
We talk about colors. So then you decided to become an animator, which is
he decided to
become animation.
I am
3D animation, like really high quality.
On my degree,
the future.
Nick Maybury.
Animation. They don't teach spelling in animation school, is what I'm trying to say. No, but you decided to go into animation, which is
apparently they don't teach sentence structure in social science.
Yeah, they don't.
So
I am a novice.
Specifically, animation, like within the realm of animation, you could be like a matte painter, so you paint backgrounds, or you could be
which you can't do because of your disability.
Yeah, like that's what I'm getting at. Like, or you could do modeling, da 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 da. But like, I'm in the field of animation and I animate, so I'm specifically like in 3D animation. The model's already there for you. It's already rigged, as in it is a puppet. It has the joints in it. I just move the joints, if you will. So there's no colors involved in that, just motion, which I probably
incredibly menial.
Oh, it is so menial. Well, like, because you guys know, there's like 24 frames per second of animation. It's
in a decent animation.
Yeah, if you're going in like Sailor Moon, it's like 16 frames per second, maybe. Not
like
say the Sailor Moon is bad.
The old Batman and Superman cartoons only had like 14 frames per second.
Yeah, like the Warner Brothers superhero stuff is really low because it's like television animation. You can't hand draw all of that. It's easier now. Because you'll see, like, if you look at the styles of like hand-drawn cartoon animation now, it's still puppetry. They'll still make
some
it big.
It's really, really amazing.
Some like, it's, but I don't know. I was like, it's not the same. The difference is that like it's computer aided now, so it makes things faster. But the downfall. Well, I would think the downfall of that is that they do a lot of puppet stuff, which is just tweens, which is like you do, say, an arm down and an arm up, and then you're like, computer, do the rest. And I just feel it looks really
It can look like shit depending on, the amount of individual keyframes that you've got.
It doesn't have the charm of hand-drawn animation, but at the same time, I can't blame them because it's like, let's pump out an episode a week.
Yeah, let's have 70 episodes in a year. Each one needs to be 10 minutes long. Go.
It's like the Simpsons joke where it's like, dear the Simpsons, is the Simpsons live? And they're like, no, it's a terrible strain on the animator's wrists. I don't know if that was Simpsons. I think it was.
It sounds like The Simpsons. Although recently in cartoons I've been seeing where they'll like bump the frame rate to beyond 24 frames when they want to make something look really cool.
Yeah,
Which I always really enjoy. I don't know why.
I remember I was watching Full Metal Alchemist once, and I was expecting like 14 frame per second anime, like where the mouths are just open, close, and that's the only mouth shapes. And then, which
it's
was
getting
true.
to the point where like I can read lips.
No,
Yeah,
that's
sometimes.
fantastic. Oh, so okay, so in Full Metal Alchemist, that was all happening, and I was like, wow, what a great story. And then he had to roll out of the way for something, and my jaw dropped, and I paused the whole thing because I was like, that was a brilliant roll. That was so pretty. And it's because they did it on ones, like every frame.
Yeah.
Drew.
Sometimes I'll like see hair bounce and like it won't be something like it's focused on. It'll just be like a little background thing. And I'm like, that must have took someone like days.
Oh, man. Like, I have a choice to animate hair, what I'm doing right now. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Nobody's going to notice. I don't want to spend another 2 hours
Well,
on this.
you work in TV. Like, how strict is your NDA? Can we talk about it?
No, I can tell you that I don't even know. Well, I can kind of say that I work
You're
at a
not
studio.
in a film studio.
They do features, yeah.
Okay.
But it's not like their original content necessarily. Okay. Or they might have had one. Anyway, so the difference between feature film and TV animation is that I can get away with being like, well, that's going to take too long. I'm not going to do it. This looks okay. It tells a story. Like, I try to get it like, this should look good and like nail
FYI,
it.
if you worked for Pixar or something, they'd be like, you're going to work on that fucking hair and you're going to make it look amazing.
Yeah, like there are people in the same studio working on features, and like the amount of time that I have to do 1,500 frames is the amount of time they have to do like 300 maybe. Like they have so many more weeks to work on one thing. But the thing is, like every time they'll submit an animation, it'll come back with like director notes, a bunch of notes from the director being like, so like minute things. They'll be like, the fingernail doesn't have a good arc to it when they lift their finger.
And bearing in mind that 300 frames is like what, a minute? Less.
300. Let's grab the calculator.
300 divided by 20.
I just accidentally walked into a math class, apparently. Yeah,
this is what most of the things that creative people want to do are going to have to face, is every once in a while you're going to walk into a math class.
So that's okay. The only time you need to know math in animation, if you're strictly animating, if you don't want to be a one-trick pony, you should learn math. But the only thing you need to know is like, what is that divided by 24? That's
and
all.
You need a calculator for that, Nick.
Yeah, 300 divided by 24, by the way,
you
is
should
12
know
and
this.
I
That's
should.
12 and a half seconds?
Yes. Which is
12 and a
surprising.
half
I didn't
seconds,
think it would be that
and
many.
you get like, yeah, I thought that'd be more actually. I guess that makes sense. 300 seconds is 5 minutes.
What? Okay. I'll take your word for it. Anyway, yeah. So like the second day of work, I just grabbed the calculator from like the accessories and Windows and I just docked it. I was like, I already give up. I'm going to need this. I don't even want to do it in my head.
Yeah.
So, weren't we going to talk about the thing that
I don't want to talk about that.
No?
No.
We got to talk about something.
We do. It's up to you.
Well, it was up to me, and I already chose, you jerk.
Fine.
What did you choose again? Where you're talking about
hobbies,
turning hobbies
turning them into jobs.
Yeah.
So you do magic. That's your hobby.
Yeah, that's my hobby.
You jobbed it for a little while. You're in school mostly now. I haven't seen you doing shows.
Let's put like a school spin on this. Like, why go to school for computer stuff and not magic, but you're not allowed to answer to not be homeless?
Well, because
okay, great.
This is so we're gonna make this hard. Why did you go to school for blank and you can't say not to be homeless? Although the recession is totally legit. Da, 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 da.
Okay, so basically everything we say we can't have to just not be homeless as our answer.
We can't revert to my go-to answer.
Okay. I feel like that answer could work for so many things, though.
We also can't say because it's my dream. We also can't say because it's my dream, which cuts out Nick's go-to. And we also can't. We also just can't swear instead of answering the question, which cuts out your go-to answer.
So basically, no one-liners is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is going to be a serious discussion. Cut out right now. Just turn off the podcast.
Yeah, they turned off after peanut butter was green.
We were going
brown.
to have
Peanut butter. Oh my god.
Peanut butter is brown, you idiot.
We're still recording though, right, Nick?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're in almost.
So what was the question?
Why did you go to school for algorithms and numbers instead of magic? For a little background, Nate does magic. He breathes fire. He's had a few really cool shows.
And some
few really bad ones.
shows.
I understand that he really likes magic, and it just I don't know. It's like one of those things where it's like, wow, that's really cool. Like if you like something when you tell people like I do this, and they're like, wow, I wish I had that. It's like a childhood dream come true. So why did you decide to kill it and live unhappily forever doing math? Go.
Doing magic or doing software development?
Doing math.
Doing math. Oh, okay. Well, it's also
math. It's software development.
Right.
Software development. Yeah.
I'm not a nerd. I just make video games.
Right? Like some kids like actually said that. We had like an Experience Seneca thing here where kids come to our program to like ask questions. And they're just like, "Oh man, like do we get to like code video games?" And my friend who was doing it was just like, "Yeah, but you need to like pass all your other courses too." But they're like, "Do we get to code video games?" And it's like, "Listen,
sounds exciting as it sounds."
Well, at the same time, by the time you get to third year, by the time you have waded through all the difficult crap of 2 years, especially if you have no prior programming experience,
of 3 years.
Well, technically you would take video game in your third year, right?
Okay.
So all this would be going on.
This is teasing.
But if you have
Just
like
stick it in programming.
If you have like no prior programming experience and your only thing of coming to this program is yay, I get to code games, then no, you're going to get shit on very quickly. Wait, can I say that? I don't know if I could say that.
You already swore like so many times.
You're going to get like just defecated on.
It's too late. What am I gonna do?
You could beat me out. I don't know. You're going to get wrecked. Okay, you're going to get wrecked so fast in these 2 years that you're not going to want to have to take game programming.
We need to
because it is 10
preface
times
this.
worse.
Even like young professionals such as ourselves, we're students. Okay.
You're not a student anymore.
We're still jaded old men about this because in high
I was
school,
born a jaded old man.
I believe it too. Just out of the womb. Get off my bed. My hospital bed.
It's so cold out here. Put me back.
There's no going back.
What's this eat through my mouth nonsense?
Yeah, dumb. That actually
Anyway.
does sound pretty dumb.
Okay, anyways, what were you saying,
Yeah.
Nick?
So, there's got to be a lot of just doing magic right in front of me. Anyway, a lot of people coming out of high school totally want to make games, and that is an absolutely legit desire, and it's completely plausible. But I think it's very, very often in school you just see a lot of people who roll in, sounding very, I don't know, like
With it.
first
Smart.
year-y. And by first year, I probably just mean happy and excited, and like they have spirit and soul
I want
in
to
them.
tell a story.
You want to tell a story?
Go for it.
All right, so my first year, and I'm in a pretty easy course, and
You're becoming a lawyer.
yeah, but I'm in my bachelor's, so like it's ridiculously easy because I get to choose all my own courses, and like all the courses that like people would use to go to law school, except for pre-law, which is really difficult. But in Ottawa, it's in French, which I can't speak. So anyway, so then like a lot of people were in my course or like a similar course, and they're like, I want to be a lawyer or something. And they were all like really smart people who were like very like excited, and like they really seemed like they knew what they were doing, and they were very like motivated, and they were like, I study so hard. So many of them are gone, just so many.
Really? The people who
Like-
like came in dedicated to it.
Yeah, the people who came in like dedicated and were like, I'm going to work so hard. And like
Wow.
they just gave up. They're like, I can't keep working this hard for any reason. And I didn't work hard, but like I worked hard enough to pass. But like that was my goal, like pass, keep going. And like it's really a marathon, not a sprint, because like even though those people in first year got better marks than me in first year, like half of them are gone. Then they all started like doing what I was doing, and they didn't know how. And then they all started doing poorer and poorer. And now like I know no one just because, you know.
That's
That's
interesting.
Okay, go for it, Nick.
So in first year animation, and it's kind of Okay, I should finish that thought on Game Kids. It's totally legit to be excited about stuff. That's awesome. Best of luck. It's not it's not as scary as we probably make it seem, but there is something.
It is actually. It is that scary.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Aspects of it are that scary.
Yeah. And so in first year there were a lot of like really excited people, probably similar to like that's why I was surprised because it drew a parallel to animation school where there's a bunch of people who come in and they're like, yeah, I love anime and I've been watching Bugs Bunny since I was little and I love animation. And then they start being like, Tim Burton, Studio Ghibli, I like those things. And so they're like, I'm in animation, I'm going to be the
Birdie
best.
the dinosaur.
Yeah, but like they'll say it and they're excited about animation, but they're not excited.
They're excited to be a consumer of it, but not a maker of it.
Yes, that was very well said. Like they're not ready to sweat. They're not ready to do the work. They're not ready to give up their free time. They're not ready to stop watching animation in order to make it. And a lot of game kids aren't ready to stop.
A lot of game kids are the same way. They're just like, oh, I love playing games. It's like if I were to make a game, I would like do this, this, and this, and make it better. But what you don't understand is that you still have to program the game. You have to program the physics.
You want to be a director and have like a whole team to do it for you, but you got to work your way up to it.
Yeah, look, so many people do that, or like you'll just see like forum posts anywhere online of people like, I have really good game ideas. I just like I need to show them to some companies so I can direct them and tell them what to do. And it's like, okay, well, do you program? No. Do you do art? No. And it's like you can't.
Do you have experience in the game industry?
No.
Yeah, no.
Like, are you a master game marketer? Because then maybe you could get a director thing. There are small companies, but if you're none of those things.
If you're just some kid who like played Final Fantasy and was just like, oh, I have a great idea for another Final Fantasy game, and then you believe that the world should you might. I'm not saying that you don't, but if you're just one of those kids who's just like, I believe the world should listen to me now, as someone who has a great idea for a game, then no, like you should just go die. Like,
well, no, like you can put in the work and like get really good at it, and then maybe one day you can see your game ideas turned into something, but you have to be willing to put the work in.
So here's what's happening right now. We are just being evil old men towards people with dreams. But if you have a dream, do not be discouraged. And I think a lot of people who end up going to school to make video games started out as like, yo, I have this really great idea.
We should pick on other disciplines other than just video games, even though that's like the really easy, like low hanging.
It's very easy. I want to finish this because there are so many people who have that like specific dream and like specifically follow that path. I don't know what it is, but like as a kid, like you just want to make stuff. Like I don't know, art kids will draw comics. Be like, I'm going to be a great comic book artist. That's what I did. That didn't work out. I
think it's because there's so many commercials for gaming school that are like, do you love video games? Come to our gaming school. We'll teach you how.
I think those popped up because there's so many people who started out like this who are like, I have a great idea for a game.
Hey, continue your thought. We'll finish it up. I'm sorry for interrupting.
The reason that we are shitting on you and your ideas right now is because it's not refined, and it's cool that you have an idea and stuff, but it is like you need to understand that it's a hobby, and there are people who had the same dream as you and they put years, like decades worth of experience into this, and like we've seen some of them work and get this done, and go to school, get your idea refined, understand what you're doing, understand game design, understand as many aspects of it as you can.
Understand ludonarrative structure.
Understand, the loot structure.
Ludonarrative structure.
Loots in structure.
Listen, if you don't know what that is and you want to be a game director, look it up.
Yeah, it's just, there's so much work to go through it. It's like seeing a really, like, it's like seeing an 8-year-old being, like, trying to pick fights with people. It's like, dude, you gotta take steroids for 10 years. It's like when
you see a guy like Nate do magic, and then you, like, buy a book about doing magic, and you start going through, and it's like, oh, okay, I do all this, and then you screw it up, and you're like, well, it didn't work, and then you just give up. No, you have to put in work and learn the steps and just keep doing it. Keep
that excitement and that spirit, but couple it with sacrifice and hard work. And that's how you gain respect, is you work hard and you get it done and you don't complain and you don't fail out.
And you don't develop a drinking problem.
Also important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like even if you have the dreams, and that's fine because whether you have a dream or not, people are always going to tell you whether that dream is viable or not, and people will tell you not to listen to them and chase your dream, and that's fine. But you just need to understand that
we're not old. We're pretty young. Why are we talking to people like we're
no,
old?
I'm just saying that even with us, I'm sure we've had our own goals and dreams of things that we just haven't done.
I've never had any dreams in my entire life.
That I can believe, Lloyd. But I'm saying between Nick and me, that I'm sure that we've had like our own goals and dreams of things, whether they were just goals and dreams that we made in elementary school, like I want to be a history teacher or something like that. That we just
lamest dream ever.
Yeah, I wanted to be a history teacher.
Dude, you're lame.
Yo.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Of things that we just because we realize that it just might be way too hard, and that's kind of what. Sorry, fire truck. That's what you need to like.
Turning a hobby into a career takes work.
Yeah, or even turning a dream into like its reality is going to take a ton of work.
And that's not to dissuade you; it's to steal you and strengthen you.
I feel like if you're low barring a dream, that is not necessarily a dream; it's just something you check off your to-do list. Like,
I feel like I dreamed of having a cake, so I went out and bought a cake.
Exactly, that's checking off something on your to-do list. Buy cake. Like that's not a dream.
Like, I want to be an animator, and it's like it's not one box. It is
exactly.
not one.
Oh, I see.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like Nick is going to be like in his final year of animation school and then automatically have the goal of I want to be an animator and then get his diploma the next day. Like that's not the way it works. That's just something you're checking off.
It is a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, like you said, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So
though saying that, a lot of people will say like I want to be an animator, but they don't know like in our metaphor what those other boxes are. They don't know the steps, and that's why they're going to school.
Yeah. If that's the case, if you like don't know how to like what you want to be,
I would suggest you figure out how to do something before you waste so much money on school on it.
Yeah.
That's something I want to talk about in a different podcast because it is entirely possible, I know, to get a full animation education without stepping foot in a school.
We could literally do that podcast after this because I'm not doing anything for the rest of the night.
I'd have to prepare notes on it. There's there's a post somewhere with a bunch of links to it, but
oh wait, I gotta do laundry tonight. Never mind.
I already did my laundry. You're a failure.
I don't know if you should necessarily skip out on something because you haven't done it. I don't know. It's hard. It sucks. It sucks so hard to be 17 years old and have a bunch of people like, yo, you need to make a decision right now, and then put like 20 grand plus.
Or you could do what I did and just assume that you won't do well in school and find a real job and then do it for a year and realize you hate it and that the only way to get a job that's not similar to what you're doing is to go to school. Then it makes it so much easier to just be like, well, this sucks and everything sucks and I should drop out. Oh, wait, if I do, then I'll be back where I was at the start.
That is actually incredibly motivating. I worked in like a like a printing company, and I just put papers in order all day. Like I feel like there could have been a machine to do that. Like I have a video of it. I should splice it into this.
I remember the video.
Oh my god, yeah. It was walls of paper. It was like a full room, and along the outskirts of it was piles of paper, like stacks of them right beside each other, and I had to put them all in order. And working that like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, I was just like, you had so much time to think because it was only your hands doing stuff. I was just putting papers together, and all I thought about was like, oh my god, I need to go back to school.
But that's also something I've been kind of thinking about recently this year, is that it seems like because people always ask like, or people will look at the self-help videos or read the self-help books of how to change their life or how to become more outgoing or how to get back in shape or go to the gym or something like that. And I feel like one of the things is that everyone has their own like breaking point in terms of things, and it's kind of the same way with whether you go after your dreams or not. Like we're talking now, like Nick being in that job that is so terrible. He's like, okay, I've had enough of this. I need to go back to school and do something with my life. It's kind of the same thing. It's just like everyone has their own breaking point, and when you hit that breaking point, it's kind of when
No, it's really easy. You just need to look around your life and think about, do I hate this, or am I okay with this, or do I love it? Because if you hate it, you will do something else. Because people will not do what the things they hate. If you're okay with it and you're mostly okay with your entire life, it's really, really hard to change because you wouldn't have chosen it unless you were okay with it.
Well, it's interesting, Nate, what you were saying. Well, Lloyd, you're also interesting. Nate, it's interesting. I'm sorry, what you were saying.
I'm not interesting. It's fine.
About like hitting a breaking point, or I don't know. For me, like it wasn't necessarily a breaking point, but it was certainly an experience I had where it really strengthened my resolve to finish school. Like before I went into school, I was like, no matter what, I'm going to see this through. I completely understand that it's going to be really hard at some points, but I'm going to see it through, and like I kind of promised that to myself, and it did see me through, and I remembered that often. And a lot of older people in the program, and a lot of older students in any program that I see, I think are more likely to understand the sacrifice in it, and I think they're more motivated to stick with it because they've had those experiences of being in a dead-end job or like working for minimum wage, doing what you don't want to do.
Some people love that stuff, so
some people do.
Like, not to put that down.
No.
Yeah, not to put that down. There's some
like
people
I did construction. There's some people in there who like doing it their entire life. They just loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, I have mad respect for people who do construction and stuff like that because God damn, no.
I have mad respect for anyone who finds something that they love doing, regardless of if you had to go for school for it and it's a high paying job, or if you work construction, or even if you work at McDonald's or something like that.
That's true.
If you absolutely love what you do, then by all means, more power to you, because
maybe their dream is that minimum labor job.
Yeah, maybe their dream is, well, not to bring up the point that we said we weren't going to, maybe their like their happiness in life is just to have everything stable because they've never had that before. And if they're happy having everything stable, having a job, not being homeless, then by all means, more power to them, because they would appreciate having stability more than any of us would. Because to us, stability is not a luxury. Well,
it's a privilege.
Yeah, to them, having stability would be like a luxury and a privilege, whereas to us, it's just like I'm entitled, not necessarily entitled, but like the way my life is so far, I should be stable. So it's like we're not happy with being stable, and we want something more.
I was more willing to get rid of the stability I had to like find a different thing than I was to keep stability and be stuck there.
I do think that's something everyone does go through too, is that you reach a certain point where you're just like, okay, I don't like things being stable or being comfortable. It's time to like.
So it really seems like we've shifted away from hobbies into careers into more like motivation.
Well, let's talk.
Which I'm happy about.
That's fine. Nick, I like this thread.
What kind of motivation did you have? Like like you had a really tough time applying to animation school. I remember you took like a bunch of courses and stuff. So how did you like push through? Like not even to like finish animation school, which you'd already started, but to like start on the journey of being an animator.
Right. I enjoy how this flipped and I'm being interviewed. This is good. So initially, I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version of my excursion into school with animation. 17 in grade 12. By the way, we're in Ontario. I'm in Toronto. Nate's in Toronto. Lloyd is in our nation's capital.
Ottawa.
It's Ottawa.
Ottawa is the capital of Canada, not Toronto.
That's why I said...
In case anyone internationally is like watching this.
Yeah. Toronto.
There's so many people more.
We are in Canada. It has provinces. One of them is Ontario. We're all in Ontario. We're all in Canada. Anyway. So, yeah. Sorry for belittling you. I'm sure you know geography. 17, grade 12, just about to graduate. I was like, I'm going to go into animation. And everybody's like, oh yeah, you should go to Sheridan. So I was like, yeah, Sheridan's a dream. That's the best. And that's what everybody loves. So I went to Sheridan, didn't get into animation. But when you don't get into animation, they send you into an art fundamentals program. A ton of schools do this now. I know Seneca does it. Humber has one. So this art fundamental program is a 1-year course to just up your art skills so that maybe you can...
teach you things like color.
Yeah, it was... man, I dropped that like 2 weeks in.
Yeah, you would have had to.
Well, I explained... Okay, that's another story. This is the Cliff Notes version. Went to Sheridan. Didn't like it. partly because I was 17 and an a-hole, and partly because I just wasn't for me. Then I took a year off and was just kind of sad about not moving forward. That's when I worked at a paper factory, which I think is just depressing in itself. Because, oh man, and like I would see like European immigrants worked in this factory, and it was like a sitcom. Like, it was like written like just sad people being sad about everything.
It's called poli-sci.
Jeez, yeah. So after that year off, I applied to a bunch of schools, still kind of under the impression that like Sheridan's still the best. But at that point, I was like, well, Sheridan's not for me. I ended up going to Humber, and all the issues that I had at Sheridan with myself and with my work and with other people were gone, because with that year off, I kind of like took that time to build up myself and get ready to do it and dedicate myself to it, because I knew what the alternative was, and it was putting paper together with a lot of sad European immigrants and myself, which is never a fun party to be in. And did it, got it done. I graduated with honors. I got a job right out of school. I am now working that job.
Or you were the 10th best. How many people were in your class?
10.
Yeah, you were the worst.
There were
you were
only
the worst
10.
animator.
It's like I came in second in a Sea-Doo competition. How many other people were there? 2. Me and the passenger.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Half the crew survived. Half the crew survived. Me in a Sea-Doo competition. Half the crew survived. Don't Sea-Doos only take 2 people? Yes. Damn it.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear about your
right?
Sea-Doo buddy.
Right? He was a jerk anyways.
I was the greatest Sea-Doo captain ever. The crew all survived. The Sea-Doo did not.
Well, is there something hidden underneath that?
Anyway.
You're smiling like there is. Anyway,
no,
so that's...
I don't know what a Sea-Doo is.
That's some... I don't know. That's the... Oh my god.
Lloyd, it's like... No, I don't even know what a Sea-Doo is.
I've been making Sea-Doo jokes for days. I don't even know what it is. That's how good of a comedian I am.
That's perfect. Oh, man.
So you're gonna...
Okay, anyways. What else were we talking about?
Okay, so that's the story of like my own discipline in it, which is very short. I don't know. We can have another whole podcast about it, but I don't want to talk about myself. The point is that I had that motivation and I was ready to put the discipline in, and I achieved my dreams. Yay. And you can too if you put your mind to it, and if you are near sad immigrants working in factories.
Come to Ottawa, find the alley I'm in, and like just hang out with me for like 3 or 4 days, and you'll be like, I'm ready to take on the world because it is so much better than this.
Take a year off for travel, but like go to a third world country and make shirts.
Don't take a
that
year
entire
off.
year.
Yeah, go to a sweatshop somewhere. Work for pennies.
You'll look great on.
Well, actually, there was a guy I follow on YouTube, Elliot Hulse. I think you guys, I probably talked about him, anyways. But someone actually wrote in.
Is that the Yo Elliott guy?
Yeah, Yo Elliott. Yeah. Someone actually wrote into him. I forget. I think it was just a kid writing in that he was just like, he realized that he was like coasting through life, and he wanted to know like how to shake up his life. And he told like Elliot things like, I play like video games all day, like I go to school and I get decent grades, but I don't feel like my life has any fulfillment. So like, how do I lead a fulfilling life? And that's basically what he said. He's just like, you need to pick up your video game machine. Obviously, that's what he said because he doesn't play video games. And he's like, you need to like smash your video game machine, and you need to just like go out and check yourself into like a hostel or something like that, and just like shake up your life in a way that it's never been like shook up before, so that you can realize like kind of how much more there is out there that you could be doing instead of just sitting here playing video games. And I know Lloyd's probably not going to agree with that.
And then if you choose to play video games at the end of all that, then there you go.
Then it was meant to be.
Then it was meant to be, and it'll probably feel way more fulfilling, even if you end up in the same spot.
Well, you just don't feel shitty doing it. Keep going.
What? No, what were you going to say, Nick?
Oh my God, we're so Canadian. Lloyd, you first, then Nate, then I'll go.
No, I was going to say that the most important thing is not that like you end up in a different place. Like your life doesn't necessarily have to be a feel-good rom-com where like you start at the bottom and then you became head of
That's a
marketing.
Drake song, not a rom-com.
Yeah.
Started at the bottom, became head of comedy, and started dating your dream whoever.
This podcast just went 0 to 100 real quick.
It doesn't matter if you end up in the same spot, as long as you have other experiences to bring with you back to the same spot. You will feel change, even if your circumstances don't seem to have changed. Go ahead, Nate. Oh, you don't have anything to say? Go ahead, Nick.
I'm pretty
All
sure
right.
that's
Well,
what
I was going to say,
that.
yeah. Well,
So,
you had your chance, Nate.
Yeah.
You're done now. Yeah, because if you end up going back and doing the same thing, at least you know that you did it and you know it's out there. Because like if you're just playing it and you're like, my life's going nowhere, then you're doing it, but you feel shitty. But if you do something else and you come back to it, then maybe you can genuinely enjoy it and not feel shitty and guilty playing it. And that's actually still difficult for me after like going to school and being like, hey Nick, have you watched any fun animation lately? And I'm like, no, I'm learning to make it. I don't have time to watch it. I still feel a little bit of guilt watching movies or playing games or anything because I'm like, I should be being productive. I should be doing a podcast or something.
I never
Here we
feel
are.
guilty for not being productive. It's probably why I'm homeless and you're not.
But great with sets. Maybe that's
Great
what
with
you go
sets.
into.
I could. No, I couldn't. You have
Going
to.
like interior design.
I would have to go. I'm too straight for interior design. I'd have to go into architecture.
Nobody's that
Wow. That was offensive.
Architects are just interior designers who are too camp to be engineers.
Oh my god. This
This is
feel
told
like-
to me by an architect student, so blame them.
I feel
That's
like
like saying,
even though
like,
this is
I have a
unhinged,
black
we're gonna
friend,
get
so-
we're gonna get in trouble for saying mean things.
yeah, Lloyd, with your luck, your first assignment would be to be like, okay, your first assignment, the first set you're gonna make an alleyway that looks awful and it's trash and the walls are concrete, and you'd be like, damn it, can I
No,
make
I'd
it
have
really
to go
nice?
I'd have to go to school for like 3 years to learn how to design sets.
Yeah.
We both have a friend. We all three of us have a friend who did that. No names.
I haven't actually caught up on that. I don't know how that's going. I should figure that out. That would be fun to talk about on here, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
I would.
We all
And
have.
I think I almost did, but the conversation didn't go anywhere.
Shut up, Nate.
So
Yeah.
Me
Like-
and Nick both have lots of friends who are like in creative industries, so you could easily get one of them on here.
Yeah, I have a lot of people who I think would be really good for this. Like the issue is just like getting that first one there to be like, hey, do you want to be on this podcast? To be like, what podcast, Nick? You're full of it.
Okay,
And I'll be like,
I
no,
see.
it's real.
That's what me and Nate are. We're bottom of the barrel. Like he knows we'll show
No,
up.
you guys trust me in that you're like, oh yeah, Nick does things. Whereas other people, I'd have to be like, here's my LinkedIn. Here's a resume.
here's my social insurance number. Here's
I
my
have-
kidney. Now please come on my blog. I mean my
You know how many
Podcast.
kidneys I've given away? Only one.
I
'cause you
actually-
can only give one away.
Well, you could steal someone else's to give it away. Pretend it's yours.
We promise not to talk about that.
You
we
could clone
promise
your
not to
kid.
talk about Vegas, Lloyd, okay?
Yeah.
Like
What happens?
what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, my kidney's still in Vegas, you guys.
Oh no, it's at my house. I had some friends pick it up.
Oh,
I'm cloning it right now so that you can give away.
is that what all that
multiple
like
kidneys.
barking is? Those animal sounds?
Yep.
Yes.
Is my kidney trying to escape your mad funhouse?
I have 19 cages with rats with kidneys growing on their back.
Great.
Soon they'll be ready to implant.
You probably
This
just
took a
Resident
turn.
Evil
At
7.
some point, just delete all of this.
All of it. Everything after peanut butter, right?
Yeah, everything after peanut butter.
Well, it's just like it's,
Okay, H. So Nate,
never mind. It got done.
Magic is a discipline that has required a lot of your time over the years. How'd you stay with it, even though you're never gonna like make a career out of it? Well,
And what's the deal with
you
airplanes?
could. What?
And what's
Sorry.
the deal with
That was actually a
airplanes?
super great segment.
Why did I
Segue? Nate,
Segue.
go.
segue? Yeah, Nate. Did I sound like Jerry Seinfeld when I was doing that?
Well, you did like on video. You just like leaned to the side and leaned in.
Yeah.
You're like, so like you were getting cozy with the listener.
Oh,
You're like,
okay.
hey there, Nate, you did magic.
Do you want me to use my
Why don't
sexy
you
voice?
show some magic to us right now?
That's absolutely not what I was going for.
Or were you going? Oh, you're gonna go like Barry Manilow. See, you have a deep voice. I don't know who Barry Manilow is.
I don't know. I'm not doing a sexy voice right now. I could if you wanted.
I think you are. I think it's a matter of opinion. I think it's very sexy.
I'm not intending to do a sexy voice right now. I can if you want.
Oh, so you're natural then.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is just what I sound like. Anyway, Nate, again, you spent a huge amount
sexy
of your
voice.
life. Nate, you spent a huge amount of your life working on the hobby of magic, even though you never really intended to turn it into a career, I don't believe. How did you stay motivated through that time?
Okay, first off, I feel like you should speak like that always because it's awesome.
I'll like chain smoke a pack of cigarettes before the next podcast if you guys still want
cigarettes like an Irishman just now.
Irish cigarettes, man.
I don't know how to talk words well, so I just steal other people's sentences and verbate them back. And yeah, anyway, the question stands.
Yeah. So, what was the question properly? Without us?
You spent a lot of your life working on magic, even though it was never really like your career goal. I don't think.
Nope.
How did you stay motivated during that time, even though it was just like something for fun?
Well, actually, at one point when I first got into magic, it was one of those things where it's just like, I'm going to be a magician and I'm going to make money off magic. And then
that went away really quick.
Oh, it did, because when you realize, like, how difficult it is, B, that if you like mess up a magic trick or something like that, people are ruthless. People are ruthless to magicians.
I'm actually ruthless when he completes a magic trick well.
Yeah, Lloyd doesn't like me stealing his thunder.
Lloyd is the YouTube comments of real life.
Yeah.
I'm a bitter old man. I'm like, back in my day, Jesus parted the Red Sea. You call that changing?
Moses parted the Red Sea. Get your memory right, old man.
I have early onset Alzheimer's. I didn't want to bring it up.
Dark turn.
So, okay, so...
Early onset Alzheimer's. Womp womp.
Womp womp. Okay, so... Yeah,
You're also a black belt in karate, which is another thing that you...
Don't say that on here. I don't need people coming to find me.
But no, it's another hobby that took a lot of time and effort, even though you could never really, like, turn it into a career or anything.
Technically, I probably could teach if I wanted to. And I have taught, but never... I wouldn't want to open up my own club.
You could also be a professional magician, but you're not doing that either. So how did you stay motivated in your hobbies is the question.
Mainly it's because that regardless of all this, like, it doesn't matter what I've started to learn. You're going to hold it like this, and you're going to clip it.
I just did it, fam. Why'd you just give it away? Now people aren't going to think I'm magic.
Yo, I think you're magic. When you play the guitar, it's just so magical.
Thanks, Oliver. Nate.
Okay, anyways. It's
so you guys could be interior designers.
Oh my goodness.
Am I just gay enough? Is that what we're getting?
Oh my goodness.
Is that what you're saying?
It's not okay.
We're not saying that all interior designers.
Oh my goodness.
We are just kidding. Okay? We are
Nate, just
we have no political agenda. We're just kidding. Okay, anyways, back to the topic. I don't think you ever want to show anyone this, Nick. I think we might have to do it a fifth time.
I have to do so many cuts.
One of the reasons I kept everything a hobby and didn't try to turn it into something professional or something like that is because I felt that the moment I would turn one of these into something professional or something like that, it would become boring. And that actually did happen with the shows that I did. By the time I did like my third or fourth show where I got like paid for it or something like that, I just felt I didn't want to do magic anymore. Like I took more than a year off magic because I just didn't want to do it anymore. Like even for the entire summer that I was home, I didn't touch a deck of cards. I maybe touched a deck of cards once or twice. And that was like for a couple of minutes. And then I felt like it was one of those things where I felt nothing when it came to practicing and performing magic for people.
You didn't feel anything when you touch decks?
No, I don't feel anything when I touch a deck.
You didn't touch your own deck for a whole month?
No, I didn't touch my own deck for a whole 4 months. A whole 4 months.
I just wanted to clarify that. Keep going.
Anyways, but it was also
You guys were so straight faced for so long. Like,
keep going, man.
Come on, keep going.
It was one of those things where I didn't want to quit doing what I was doing because for the longest time in my life, I never wanted to be that guy who, you're out with friends and, someone is telling a story of when they saw a magician, or you're out with your friends and a magician comes along, just happens to perform for you. I never wanted to be that guy who said, oh yeah, I used to do magic. Or yeah, I used to draw. Or yeah, I used to do karate. I always wanted to be that person who was still doing it, regardless of how many years I was in it for. And I felt that the moment I turned it into a job is the moment that I could no longer say with a sense of pride or happiness that I do magic or I do martial arts or I draw or anything like that. It's just like now I'm sort of forced to do magic because that's the only way I can prevent myself from, not contributing to society or being homeless or something like that.
Being in an alley.
Yeah, exactly. So and the reason I kept it as a hobby is...
My alley has a bed.
It's a pretty swanky bed.
And the alley is the bed, Lloyd. Like you've never slept in an alley.
You're saying that to me?
Like one triple king size bed.
Anyway,
long.
Yeah, you didn't ever want to give up on your hobbies.
It's just that I wanted them to stay hobbies. I didn't want them to become something that I was tied down to.
But so I've seen you do some really elaborate tricks that probably took at least 20 hours to learn. I can't devote 20 hours to feeding myself. How do you devote that much time to something that's you don't even have the reward of money?
But you say that as if money is the grand reward.
Or I've seen you do really elaborate tricks that I know took you a while, and I was ruthless. How do you work so incredibly hard on something, and you know that I'm going to be that's dumb, and you're dumb?
I think another way of looking at it is also it's how could I spend money on all these tricks? Spend hundreds of dollars on tricks if I'm not going to pursue...
If you're not going to make it back.
Yeah, if I'm not going to make it back. Why would... And at the same time, I feel
joy on my face when you successfully trick me. We'll never make back the hundreds of dollars you
spent
on carts.
That's one way you can look at it. Is the joy on someone's face when I do a magic trick.
On my face.
Or on Lloyd's face or Nick's face or whoever I do magic trick for.
Only mine.
Lloyd is the only person I look for validation from, folks. Could never make back the and there are times when I've even last year, I sat down and looked at all the magic stuff I had. And it was actually a little bit depressing when I looked at all the magic stuff I have, because I looked at magic tricks that I had never performed for anyone in my entire life. And I looked at them and went, I'm never going to perform this for anyone because it has no point in being my repertoire, and I just threw it in the garbage. And these were tricks that were $10-$20, right? That's harsh. And yeah, and it was kind of a somewhat sobering moment for me, where it's just I'm never going to perform these tricks for anyone anymore. They should just go in the garbage. Part of it is there's a concept of kill your babies or kill your darlings or whatever, and it happens it's every day for me now that it's a career in animation, where you'll get notes back and it's hey, that thing that you animated that was really dope that you really liked, get rid of it, we hate it, or somebody else hates it. So many people in this pipeline could hate what I make, and I got to kill it, and I got to do something else, and it's something that has to happen all the time, and I feel for you really hard when it happens, because it's tough, although it is necessary sometimes. Well, yeah, that's also one of the reasons, that too, is why I didn't want to make certain things
Never happens to me.
Well, why I didn't want to make certain things a job, because it's just yes, I could devote all this time and stuff to a magic trick, and just have someone say, that's a terrible magic trick, I don't ever want to see that magic trick again, and it's just it's why did I spend all that time making a trick? And there are certain times when you have to pull yourself out of the gutter and be look, people mess things up, and there's nothing you can do about it. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to abandon your trick, but at the same time, it is very hard to stay optimistic about those kinds of things when you put in all that time and work into something. I think the difference between, or at least the difference in this case, between a hobby and a career is that in the hobby, you can do this thing and you can put as much time into it as it's fun for you. Because I think Lloyd was saying earlier, how do you keep going? It's in everything
that you do that you want to get good at, there's a point where it's fun and there's a point where it stops being fun. And after that, you're still improving, but you're not having fun. So unless there's something motivating you to do it, like money or fun, which just ran out, you're fun while it's empty. Yeah. Then you stop doing it. But as a hobby, you have the luxury of being like, okay, I'm going to stop now. I have my fun. I'm going to do something else that's fun. Whereas in a career, it's like, yeah, I did this fun thing. I'm proud of it. And then your pipeline's like, no, do it again. And you're like, well, maybe this isn't as fun the next time. But with that, you are forced to do that not fun part and you start improving. And with that comes bigger rewards and the chance of a better outcome from it. You get better. You're a better craftsman. You're a better worksman. You make better stuff. But the downside is that it's not always super fun or super rewarding.
I think the difference between a hobby and a career is that in a hobby you have a muse, in a career you have a mortgage. And like not just like a monetary thing, but like in a career, if it's really your career, you have to do it.
Yeah, you don't slack on that, because if you slack on it, then you're a broken hammer. You can't do what you're intended to do.
Yeah.
You can't eat after that.
If it's a hobby, you can be like, I want to do it, so I'll do it. And if you're like, I don't really feel like doing it today, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Did Nate freeze?
I don't know. But with that, we're about to bring it to the end of it, because we just about hit the hour mark. Yeah, he's gone.
Okay. I just want to say, anytime that the two people who watch this podcast, one of whom will be me, anytime it's a video of cats, we were saying something really inappropriate that I'm not sorry for at all.
Now I have to cut in cats.
You don't have to cut in cats. You can just
leave. Thank you so much for listening. It was super fun.
What's the name of the podcast?
It's I Make Art, Hire Me. If you want to see more of me, my name's Nick Mabry. You can hit me up on Twitter at Nick Mabry.
He also has a LinkedIn.
I do have a LinkedIn, but that's not as public. My last name is Mayburry. I'll throw in like a little name under, maybe a link on YouTube. Lloyd, do you have anything to pimp?
That charity I like, World Builders, recently did a big thing for the Syrian refugees, so you could check that out if you like. It's World Builders by Patrick Rothfuss. It's lots of geek stuff.
Is it by Patrick Rothfuss?
It is by Patrick Rothfuss.
Oh. Is the website just worldbuilders.com?
If you type worldbuilders.com into Google, it should take you to it.
That's how the world works now.
Yeah.
Just Google it. I'll try to throw a link in there.
What else? Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, do you want to rep the people who allowed this podcast to be possible? That program?
No, I don't. I don't want to say.
This has been good times.
Yeah. I'll have another one up. I want to grab...
You could cut the video here, and then we could just talk after.
Well, I want to tell them what's up next. I want to grab two animators who work in the studio with me, who went to different schools, Sheridan and Centennial. Maybe I'll grab some other people, and just because the school year just started, I want to talk about how to be successful in school. That one would specifically be about animation and stuff, but yeah, kind of keep up with the times. Thanks so much for listening. Deuces.